Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing good. Today in this video we are going to talk about present, past and future perfect tenses. Let's get started. As I have already mentioned in my previous videos that it's very essential to know the tense of a sentence in order to convert it into passive form. In present perfect tense, we have subject, have or has according to the subject, and third form of the verb in the sentence. If you look at example number 1, I have opened the door. The door is the object which goes to the subject place. The door, as it is singular, therefore we have already inserted here has, and it should be followed by been. The door has been opened by me, which is actually opened is the third form or the past participle form of the verb, and by me is added because we have here in the subject place in active sentence I, which changes into me. Look at example number 2. The thief has stolen the treasure. The treasure is the object which goes to the subject place. The treasure, it's singular, has been, then the past participle form of the verb stolen by the thief. So we can say the treasure has been stolen by the thief. Look at example number 3. Bad weather conditions have delayed our flight. Our flight has been delayed by bad weather conditions. She has built a house. A house has been built by her. In negative sentences, in present perfect tense, after has and have, we have not. Look at example number 1. He has not finished his homework. His homework is the object. It will go to the subject place. His homework, as it is singular, that's why we have to add has, and not is to be placed here right after has or have in the sentence in passive form. So his homework has not been finished by him. She has not taken beautiful photographs. Beautiful photographs have not been taken by her. If you look at this one, this object which has taken the subject place in the passive form, beautiful photographs, have not been taken by her. We have here because it is not singular, it is plural. Moving to the next slide. They have not faced many troubles in life. In life is a prepositional phrase, and I have already discussed it in my earlier videos that prepositional phrases cannot be the object. Many troubles, this is actually the object, so it should go to the subject place. Many troubles have not been faced by them in life. And if you look at here in life, it has taken the same place because it is a prepositional phrase. My parents have not invited him to the party. Once again in this sentence, to the party is a prepositional phrase. But if you look at this him, this is the object and it must be placed here in the subject place. So him in the subject place should be converted into he. He has not been invited by my parents to the party, because we know that he takes has, not have. In interrogative sentences, we might have in the beginning of the sentences the auxiliary verbs, or there are some question words like what, why, where, who, etc. Look at example number 1. Have you studied this poem? There might be some students who may have a problem to convert interrogative sentences into passive. If they face any problem, they can listen to my advice. You can say, you have studied this poem, no problem. You can think about an affirmative sentence. You have studied this poem. So the passive form will be, this poem has been studied by you. Has after this poem is inserted, therefore it should be placed in the beginning of the sentence. Has this poem been studied by you? So it will convert into a question. Has Julia baked a cake? Has a cake been baked by Julia? Have they won the games? Have the games been won by them? Example number 4 and 5 are different. If you look at this one, who, it starts with who, an active voice. So active sentences which start with who and passive, we need to convert them to by whom. For example, who has committed this crime? By whom has this crime? Because this crime is singular, so there should be has in the sentence. By whom has this crime been committed? Look at example number 5. Why have you torn my book? Why has my book been torn by you? As you know, my book is singular, that's why we have inserted here has in the sentence. Moving to past perfect tense. It's not very difficult because we have just one auxiliary verb here, and even that auxiliary remains the same in the passive form. Look at example number 1. Mary had helped the boy. The boy is the object here, so it is actually taking the subject place. The boy had, and after this had in passive, we need to insert been in the sentences. So the boy had been helped by Mary. The same past participle form of the verb is inserted in the passive forms. My father had seen tigers in the streets. In the streets, it is a prepositional phrase. This is the object, it goes to the subject place. Tigers had been seen in the streets. You can say by my father, or you can omit it. As I have already discussed it in my earlier videos, when a sentence can give a complete thought, you can omit by phrase from the sentences. I had lost my key. My key had been lost. If you see, I haven't written here by me. It is enough. If you ask someone, my key had been lost, that's enough. Look at example number 4. She had made a record. A record had been made by her. Negative sentences. The firefighters had not put out the fire. If you look at this, after had we have not here in sentences. So what is the object here? The fire. The fire had not been put out by the firefighters. Look at example number 2. The little girl had not broken the glass. The glass had not been broken by the little girl. Sentence number 3. Scientists had not predicted the pandemic. The pandemic had not been predicted by the scientists. In interrogative sentences in this tense, we might have had, or we might have who, why, etc. the question words. Had the lecturer marked me absent? Had I been marked absent by the lecturer? As I have told in the earlier slide, that if the students face any problem to convert interrogative sentences into passive form, they can think of affirmative sentence, no problem. For example, the lecturer had marked me absent. You can say, I had been marked absent by the lecturer. So in the affirmative sentence you will say I had been. So in the question you can just put had in the beginning. Had I been marked absent by the lecturer? And it will convert into a question. Who had caught the thief? By whom? As I have told you, by whom? The same auxiliary verb. By whom had the thief been caught? Look at example number 3. Why had you driven my car in my absence? Why had my car been driven by you in my absence? So I guess this is not difficult to understand. Future perfect tense is also very easy. We have actually two auxiliary verbs in this tense, will and have, and the third form of the verb. Look at example number 1. He will have completed his task. His task is the object, it goes to the subject place. His task will have been. After will have, you have to add been in this tense. Will have been, and then the third form or the past participle form of the verb. His task will have been completed by him. They will have punished the culprit. The culprit is the object. The culprit will have been punished by them. You can just check out the sentence structure in passive form here in this table. The university will have awarded gold medal to my daughter. Gold medal is the object here. So gold medal will have been awarded by the university to my daughter. The administration will have sent him 2 emails by the end of this week. 2 emails, this is the object. 2 emails will have been sent to him by the end of this week. You can say by the administration, or you can exclude it. Why? Because this sentence can give you a complete thought. It is complete. Negative sentences. Scientists will not have tested the efficacy of the new drug till September. The efficacy of the new drug is actually the object here. The efficacy of the new drug will not have been tested till September. They will not have contracted the virus. The virus is the object. The virus will not have been contracted by them. As I told you, any object that takes the subject place, we should have the same will, not have, and you have to add been in the sentences in the third form, which is already there. So it's very easy to convert sentences from future perfect tense into passive form. Look at interrogative sentences. Will the doctors have discharged him from the hospital next week? So will he have been discharged by the doctors from the hospital next week? Here you guys must take one thing into your consideration, please. Whenever we have will, does, then we should have in the sentence, not has. Don't think that in the present perfect tense, in affirmative sentences, we have after he, has. But this is not the case in future perfect tense. Please, will he have been discharged by the doctors from the hospital next week? Look at sentence number 2. Where will you have built a new house by the time your business flourishes? This where takes the same place, where will, okay, and we have a new house, which is the object here. Where will a new house have been built by the time your business flourishes? The last sentence that I'd like to give you, that is, who will have won the race? As I told you, who changes into by whom, takes the same auxiliary verb, by whom will, and the object which will take the subject place, the race have been won. So this is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Good luck.